Good day everyone, I'm Marshall the Scent Addict and this is Marshall on the Move. I am standing outside Merz Apothecary in Lincoln Square in Chicago, Illinois. It's an apothecary, it's an old pharmacy, but now they're known for having niche fragrances as well as a lot of other really cool stuff. Let's go ahead and check it out. Look at this place, look at everything they have. Outside of fragrances, they have all kinds of beauty products. The layout is very nice, it's spacious but still very warm and inviting. Men, they have a nice assortment of grooming products, brushes and so forth. They have Wilhelm, they have Xerjoff, they have Nasomato, they have imaginary authors, they have a Tat Liberty Orange, they have kerosene fragrances. And they have a whole lot of houses I've never experienced before. I'm standing behind the counter here at Merz Apothecary, 150 years, second oldest pharmacy in the US. And they have two really old brands that I'm excited to show you. They have a bunch from Santa Maria Novella. They have 12 fragrances here from Casual Massey. This is Genesis. Genesis is so kind to show us the House of Ormaie, a Parisian house. Genesis, can you tell us a little bit more about Ormaie?
Yes, Ormaie is this really lovely French brand. They pretty much have been inspired by like loose stories that kind of are inspired by their family. It's a mother and son duo. They kind of specialize in these really good 100% natural fragrances with these amazing hand-carved wooden tops on their bottles.
That's the eye catcher, isn't it?
Yeah.
These caps are a big selling point. And plus, they're magnetic.
They're magnet. Yep,
Oh,
that is probably the most satisfying thing, like putting them away with that magnet top. These two in particular are some bestsellers here at the store.
And these are masculine leaning, correct?
Yeah, I would say so, especially with these two. Le Passant. This one is a really fun one, kind of like bergamot lavender inside of there, so a little bit brighter. Good for pretty much any time of the year, I would say.
That's a bright citrus fragrance. That's a very nice, realistic bergamot on top of lavender.
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. Aromatic, it's very clean, it's great for spring, summer. Fresh and classic. Yeah, that's really good.
Then we have Marc Page. This one kind of on the opposite side. So with this one, it's going to be leather, spices, sandalwood, patchouli inside of this one. So I would say while this one feels very bright, this one's going to be a little bit deeper and darker.
Nice. It's a nice fall, winter, evening, spicy leather fragrance. Pretty smoky leather fragrance. But at the same time, it's very elegant, very wearable. There's nothing terribly challenging about it. It's just elegant. That's awesome. That is really good. Genesis, the thing that grabs me most about the house, at least on a visual level, are these caps. What's the story behind the caps?
Yeah, so the founder's grandfather was a sculptor. So this essentially was like a very cool, neat homage to him. I know you see that these two are quite unique, but definitely check these out. We have some other fun toppers as well, all magnetic too.
Very cool. That's a cool story. We're in Chicago right now, and I really want to know more about a Chicago house. This is the House of Clue, a Chicago house. Genesis, is there a fragrance here you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, really interesting perfume house here from Chicago. This one essentially started out by two best friends, Laura and Caleb, and they kind of get these really cool inspirations of just these wild scenes and vignettes. Specifically Warm Bulb, which they are currently sold out of. We are also currently sold out of. This is our infamous tester, which we'll just hold near and dear to us. The inspiration behind it, it's supposed to smell like a burnt out incandescent bulb. So it's very warm, it's cozy, it feels like being at grandma's house is the best way I can describe this one.
Smell of a broken bulb. I love that. I love fragrances that tell a story.
Yeah.
And I do. I get a little bit of that vibe. It's got just a touch of a smoky powderiness to it, but it's also kind of warm and inviting.
At the same time, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So there are some familiar notes, but it tells a story, and that is really cool.
Yeah.
So you can't keep this.
Can't keep it in stock. The moment it comes in, it will immediately leave the doors. I personally want one, have yet to get my hands on it. Hopefully soon.
They come in a 30 ml bottle. Again, the caps are very recognizable. These are really unique, very cool house, and these are made in Chicago. You said that the Point is their newest one, and this is the one that I'm immediately drawn to. If I pick up something today, it might be this, if you have this in stock.
That one I do.
Awesome.
Yes.
Oh, that's good
that one I
news.
do.
If you ever come across Clue, check out the Point and check out Warm Bulb. Another house that's made here in Chicago is the House of Bianco.
Genesis, tell me a little bit about this house.
Yes, so really cool house here in the city. Started by perfumer Nick with a little bit of sponsorship from his dad, Mark. They are a very small house at the moment. I stumbled upon them reading an article in GQ, and from there it turned into us carrying them here in the store.
Very cool.
One of my most favorite fragrances from them is going to be Remix. This one is a bergamot, mandarin, a little bit of Sicilian lime oil, and watermelon. And pretty much all the fragrances have this really close tie to growing up Italian in the 90s. So like think Big Hair Hairspray, things like that.
As a big Bon Jovi fan, I know exactly.
Exactly,
that
right. Yeah, this one I think is just super fun, quite unique, and it does have magnet tops.
I am drawn to that is amazing. It's fruity and mossy. That is really good. I love their branding. I love the art direction on the bottles. I think for this fragrance, it's okay to judge a book by the cover. I think this fragrance smells exactly like a fragrance in a bottle like this should smell. It's fruity, it's vibrant, but also there's a mossiness to it that, dadgummit, makes it so appealing. Now, these come in the 50 ml bottles. Do you know off the top of your head how much they run?
These are going to be $125.
$125.
Yeah.
I like this one. Genesis, thank you so much for showing us Bianco, and thank you so much for doing this with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll be back soon.
Yes.
A big thank you to Merz Apothecary. Thank you for your hospitality and allowing us to set up post in your shop. We had a wonderful time there. And I did it. I had to do it. I bought Bianco Remix for myself, and it wound up being my Chicago scent. For my wife, I bought Clue the Point, and that stuff is on point. I've worn it just as much as she has, and we both thoroughly enjoy it. I'm Marshall the Scent Addict. Come back and see me tomorrow.
All right, I'm staying behind the counter here. Let me do that again. I have to repeat myself about 10 times before I get it right.
We all do.
Do you? Okay.